notification, but just so you know, it's being recorded. So whatever you say or do on camera will be on the internet later. So just keep that in mind. And then I'll go ahead and pass it over to Rep Morgan, and he can welcome everybody and we'll get started.
All right. Well, I want to welcome everyone to our community meeting. We try to keep everyone as informed as possible. And this is just one avenue that we use to approach that. And it seems to be fairly successful, especially during this period of COVID. I'd ask you all to please continue to take care of yourselves, wear your mask, wash your hands, social distance. It's very important, and especially for me at this time out here campaigning. So excuse my attire. I just literally walked in the house. Been out there all day. But we'll go ahead and get our meeting started. We believe that we have a speaker who's going to be able to enlighten us, and I'm glad to see some faces on here that normally aren't on here because you guys can help us ask the right questions or the hard questions, right? Okay, and let's see if we can get this thing moving in the right direction. Because obviously, one of the first things that I did when I came into office was we purchased an app land, guys. That was in 2017, 2018. So we're still lollygagging around when we should be moving forward. Okay. So with that being said, Lindsay.
Yes, before we get to our guest speaker, I'm going to just give some basic announcements as I always do. I don't have as many as last time. I know last time I had like an hour worth of announcements, so I won't bore you all this time. But my first one, we've been getting a lot of calls about the changes to the recycling program. And so a lot of people are upset. So I'm just going to try and give you the basic information I can and then where to call if you have more detailed questions. So yes, recycling has been suspended. It started this past Tuesday, which was December 1st. It was suspended because we don't have enough drivers, truck drivers. They have a lot of people out with COVID. And so in order to kind of mitigate that, they're suspending recycling pickup from people's homes. You can still take your recycling to a citizen collection station, or you can just hold on to your recycling and it's only suspended for 30 days. So if you can hold on to it for 30 days and wait for that suspension to be lifted, you will be able to have it picked up at that time. We're getting a lot of questions about, will I see a reduction in my bill? You will not, because the recycling program is free. It's free and optional, so you will not see a reduction in your bill. Also, we're getting a lot of questions, can I just throw my recycling in my gray bin? You can if you don't want to hold on to it or you don't want to take it to your collection station. That's an option. You can always put it in your gray bin. I don't recommend that option, but I'm just a crazy environmentalist, so you do whatever you think is necessary. We also had some people ask, well, my recycling bin, what if I have a lot? Like I can't take it all at once. So you're just gonna have to figure out what works best for you, and unfortunately that's how it is. So either hold on to it or do something with it, and or I mean there's a lot of options. You just have to figure out what's right with you. So a lot of people are upset and yelling at us when the solution is just they just need to think it through, to be quite honest. So also on top of that, if you have questions or want to complain, you can call 212-6000. They are happy to answer any questions, comments, concerns that you may have. And they've also scheduled some town halls. So there's already been two, but there's another one coming up. And I believe Angela has put the link, she did, in the chat. So there's one next Tuesday, December 8th at 5:30 p.m. And it's a town hall about the recycling program. So if you have questions, comments, concerns, you can attend that and ask your questions or just have your voice heard. So all that information will be in the chat. Our next announcement, recently the police department, I don't know if you, I think we've said this before, but for those of you who may not know, our code compliance department recently switched over to our police department. And so they have just launched a new online services center for you to report things that you used to report to code compliance or 311. And that's online. Angela's going to put that link in the chat as well. And that's where you can report things like an abandoned vehicle or vandalism or illegal dumping, or just anything you see that might be against city code, you can go online and report it to the police department, or you can call their non-emergency, which is 915-832-4400. So it's kind of a new system they're transitioning to, and you can also always call 311. They might patch you through to PD. So that's very new. Please use it. We haven't used it yet because it just came out, but I encourage you all to try it out and see how that works. My next thing, tonight at 6 p.m., the city is hosting a COVID fair. Angela will also put the link to that meeting in the chat. It's just to give you information on COVID, some resources, different stuff like that. It does start at 6, so we'll try to be done by then, so you all can make it if you wish to attend that. And then my last announcement is about our office. So we are hosting a blood drive in Rep. Morgan's name on December 11th from 1 to 5. So if you all can come out and donate blood, it will be at Northeast Bible Restoration Church, which is located at 4925 Fairbanks. So if you guys want to come donate blood, please do that. That's December 11th from 1 to 5. It will be following all COVID protocols. Mask will be required, all of that stuff. But our community is in desperate need of blood. And so we figured we would go ahead and host one of these. So if you guys can and you're healthy, please come out and donate. Yeah, you can make an appointment. Angela's also going to put in the chat the link to where you can make an appointment. So please make an appointment. But if you can't, if you're not sure what your day is going to look like that day, you can just walk up between 1 and 5. So please try and do that if you can. We would love to have everyone out there donating blood. We're trying to reach a goal of 25 people. I'm a competitive spirit. So District 2 only got 13 people. So I'm very confident that we can beat that number. So please come out and donate. Angela, myself, and the rep will all be there. So if you haven't seen us in a while and you want to come say hi, I'm going to say you can come say hi, but you have to donate blood first. No, I'm just kidding. But all that information's in the chat. Angela's been putting everything I've been saying in the chat, so please check that out. And now that I'm done with my announcements, I will hand it over to Lisa Gala. She is from the city, and she is here to talk about the Knapp Land Conservation Easement. I know a lot of people that are on here are very much familiar with it and looking forward to it coming soon. So hopefully she can provide some good insight on where we are in the process and what we can expect, how soon it will be voted on by council. So Lisa, are you ready to go?
Yes, just give me 1 second and I will pull up the presentation so you guys can follow along. Okay, can everyone see that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we'll just kind of go over, I expect that you'll have questions or whatever, so we can take the questions at the end. But here's just a process overview, and I kind of stole a lot of this from Janae at Frontera as well, because I know in her newsletter that she just put out a lot of the questions about why it takes so long to develop the conservation easement agreement and process. You know, it is a legal agreement. There's multiple involved, EP Water, the City of El Paso, Frontera's our land trust. So we have those entities to work with. So the first step was developing a legal agreement about how the parties were involved, wanted to use the land and have it protected. The landowners in this particular case, I think it's a little different from Frontera, how they usually work with private landowners. It is the city, and it's taken a couple months to work through the terms of the agreement, which is the conservation easement actual.
Sorry, really quick, I just got a notice that some people can't see the slides.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry,
I got a message that some people can't see the slides, so I'm not sure if it's sharing for everybody. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just wanted to
check. Let me unshare and just share again. We'll just try it that way. It's still showing the red,
okay,
the deal, but let's just try it again.
Perfect. Yeah, sorry about that.
No problem. Hopefully more people can see it this way. If not, I can send you the presentation, I believe.
Okay.
But Anyhow, so there's a conservation easement agreement, and then there's some supporting documentation that goes with it. So Frontera, the land trust, again, has reviewed a lot of supporting what we'll call due diligence. It's just like a house or a commercial piece of property. So the deed, any environmental impacts it's had, different boundaries, etc. So that's that work. The environmental survey itself, I think, took a number of weeks, close to maybe 2 months to have back, especially during COVID. Some of the surveyors and different companies that we've been using haven't had their speediest turnarounds during this COVID. I'm sure you can imagine why. And then we're just working out the final details to finalize the conservation easement as a legal record, and we'll record it because it is a legal document. And here you can see the land. You can also see that El Paso Water again is involved, and they're reserving some of the land for you know, out of the easement. That's how we obtain the land. So going back, just kind of a little history of kind of the overview is the property was purchased in 2018 using open space quality of life funds from the El Paso's Waters 10% fund. The property will be retained predominantly in its present condition to prevent any use of the property that will significantly impair or interfere with the conservation values. That's something we consistently heard from the public, is they just want it to remain in its natural state. So conserving the property has the public benefit.
I'm sorry, Lisa,
Surface
your
water and plant
mic is
life.
cutting out. I'm not sure if everyone's having that issue, but it's cutting out when you're speaking. I'm so
jiggle the computer. That's all right. Okay, let me try to just kind of jiggle. What I might do is, it's giving me the bad network quality. I might take myself off video if I can. That'll
Sure.
kind of maybe streamline. Oh, great. Yes. All right, let's see. Okay, that should be an improvement. The present condition of the property is something that we really wanted to capture so that we have a baseline documentation of how the property is today. The property will be saved in the easement or conserved in the easement in perpetuity. So we want to make sure that we always have that baseline to go back to how the property, so we can maintain it to that standard. And we're also going to have a land management plan. We're speaking about how we manage and monitor the land, and that'll be updated every 10 years. There's different ideas that you have a decade from now. There's different land management, maybe technologies that we have, etc. So those will be under review, but the document will remain firm in keeping it in conservation easement. Also, that we're going to have the recreational uses. Hiking, biking. I understand a ton of people don't do biking out there. There's other places like Dog that are more popular, but photography. And the goal again is no surface alteration or development of the land. So that's really why we're doing the conservation easement. And then Frontera has the right to prevent or correct or require correction of violations of the easement. And they'll be doing a property walk and monitoring, and this also get a report about that once a year for the monitoring. So we'll be able to capture any trends we see and do that. So that's how we get a lot of questions about how it'll be monitored. And again, that's part of the overall purpose for doing the conservation easement. The next is just tasks. And so just, people, this is really not inclusive of everything that's been going on behind the scenes, but, when we're talking about, I think, our first draft of the conservation easement we did mid-March, March 16th is what I wrote down to be specific. So you asked what we've been doing since March 16th. We did, we made sure that the deed was in order, the title was in order. We did a phase 1 of the land to see if there were contaminants and et cetera. And like I said, that took several weeks, if not a couple months, to complete with the vendor. It was a little slowed down because of COVID. The mineral waiver's been completed. The mineral remote list letter has been completed. The Frontera board has approved to work on the project. It's not like we just said we wanted to do a conservation easement and Frontera automatically agreed. You know, they had to do their background on managing the property as well. And so we're glad to have a partnership with them. Survey and legal description are completed. The land use plan, like I said, that will be revisited every 10 years, talks about how the land will be monitored, et cetera. That's completed. And I want to just go through the remaining, I guess it's 4 things nearly completed in review and pending approval. I mean, we're literally down to just crossing T's and I's. There isn't a huge amount of work here, but the plan report is nearly completed. We just had some small changes that went back and forth, I guess, end of last week. The service agreement is in review right now, which just, you know, deals with how we deal with Frontera. The ordinance is with EP Water. It's just pending approval, but it's written and ready to go to council. And the conservation easement contract, again, this is something that's just very simple. We're just catching little this and that in the final kind of sweep of things. So we are super almost done with it. We don't have a complete in every single column here. But like I said, things that are going back and forth to make sure that we're completely ready to go. And so then how do we move forward to the next step to complete it? So just gather and finalize all the remaining documentation. I don't see that taking much more than, I don't know. I don't want to put a date on it, but like 10 more days. I really don't see that. Everything is moving back and forth very fast. We will post the ordinances for council to read and review. So for going forward to posting this to council and getting it done, which is why I think everyone is here tonight to hear about that. We actually have to go twice, once for the ordinances to have time to read and review, and then once with the final legal contract to approve. So we know that there's one more posting date in December, and then there's another posting date in December, at the end of December, right before Christmas or the holiday time, to be on, I think, January 5th council. So those are both dates that we're heavily working towards completing. We don't see it going any further really than January to be totally finished. If some of you have been in previous meetings, you'll know that for better or worse, the surface waiver agreement covers both Lost Dog and Knapp. The surface waiver agreement is complete. But the Lost Dog ordinance is actually complete, so to speak. The Lost Dog contract, the actual conservation easement, is just being done. It's just a little bit behind Knapp. So at this point, we're just finishing up a little bit of Knapp. We're finishing up a larger chunk of Lost Dog, and then those will be ready to go together in a number of weeks. And we don't see this going much beyond the February of the new year timeline. And we are hoping to maybe try to post for the later December, but it might just be January that it goes both times. So we've been working really hard. There hasn't really been any lag where we've just been kind of sitting on the material, but we have had to work in the conservation easements around a lot of COVID work and a lot of other projects that we have. I don't think that's necessarily slowed it down, but it's always easy to say that this wasn't the only project that we've been working on. So with that, I can answer any questions about, I guess, anything about Napland.
Yes, if you have a question, you'll have to unmute yourself.
Go ahead, Lance.
I was going to say, if anybody wants to ask a question, they'll have to unmute yourself. It's the little microphone in the top right, or they can *6 if you're calling in. Or you can also type your question in the chat and I will ask it for you if you'd rather do that.
Okay, I've clicked on the unmute. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, my question is this. Will City Council be meeting on either the 22nd of December or the 29th?
So City Council was to meet, sorry, don't have my calendar exactly, the 21st or 22nd that you mentioned, but we're actually going to meet the 15th. So we moved that date up. But then on the, let me just pull up my calendar, I'm sorry. On the 22nd that you mentioned, that will be our posting deadline then for January 5th, I believe. So we moved the December 20th, what did I just tell you? Just December 22nd date to December 15th.
Yeah, so no council meeting on the 22nd and no council meeting on the 29th?
Correct.
Correct.
Got it. So the next council meeting will be January 5th, on Tuesday, January 5th.
Well, we'll have, we didn't post it for December 8th because we're still working on that, but that we have another deadline for December 15th. We might, strongly saying might, be able to post the ordinances on December 15th for the conservation easements, but the Lost Dog easement will not be finished by the 15th. However, it's quite possible it would be finished the 5th. So we have a couple more days to kind of get that deadline in our sights and see if that's possible. But it's very possible that we might be able to post it on the 15th, the ordinance portion of it, and then go on January 5th. If not, the ordinance will go on the 5th, and then the easement contract will go 2 weeks from then. And I don't think I have my January calendar in front of me, but.
Yeah, that answers my question. Thank you.
Okay.
That actually is a good question though, because of the holidays, the council schedule is all messed
Yes.
up. So there'll be a meeting the 8th, the 15th, and then January 5th. So there's kind of a big break there for the holiday, just for everyone to know. We have a question in the chat. Oh, somebody answered it already, but they were asking about where the Nap land is located and how you can get to it. And then somebody answered that you can go to the corner of Mountain View and Zircon. So I hope that answers your question, Kim. It's not necessarily like a trailhead like there is at Lost Dog or a trail, but it's just natural open space. Were there any other questions?
Or comments?
Yeah, if no one else has one, I have one. Back
Go
in the
for it.
days when my skin cancer did not prevent me from hiking out of doors, I hiked on that land about 7 or 8 times. And there are trails. These are trails that somehow got themselves made over the past 100 years. These are not trails that the city made, not trails that the Naps, the owners made. They're just there for whatever reason. So yes, there are trails of sorts.
Yeah, I don't think it's encouraged to like go out there and create your own.
No.
They've already been created.
Right, yeah, no. Any other questions, comments for Lisa? Or Janae? Janae's from the Frontera Land Alliance. She's kind of the expert in conservation easements as well.
Yeah, I just want to say that I'm extremely impressed by the work that Janae has done, the work that Lisa has done, the work that Sam has done, the work that Lindsay has done. All of you really deserve a round of applause. So let's give them a round of applause, even though we can't be heard. Here goes my hands.
Thank you, Dr. T. Well, it was a very good presentation. For those of you that weren't able to participate, we can go ahead and shoot that presentation out to you. I believe she can load it up in the chat room for us, right, Lindsay?
Yes, I can. We have two people that raised their hands. I'm sorry, I just saw them. Oh, I had somebody, but it disappeared. I don't know if is Tina still here? Tina Crosby? Did you have a question?
I am here. No, I'm
Okay,
good.
go
Thank you.
Oh, okay. And then, okay, Kim, you had a question?
Yes. Hi. Question regarding the birds. Is there like a Audubon society that can track like what type of native birds are going to be in that area? I've become kind of like a bird mom in my backyard. I actually have had a Chihuahuan desert cardinal take up space, and the only reason I know that it's called a Chihuahuan desert cardinal is I called the Birds Unlimited in Las Cruces, and they told me it is not a male cardinal. It is a Chihuahuan desert cardinal that only exists in the Chihuahuan desert. So he has taken up residence along with 8 million finches and mourning doves that have cleaned me out of enough bird seed to file taxes on. So I was wondering about the birds. Is there like someone that can like have signs that say what type of birds are found in that area? Because
Scott Cutler is on the call. I think he could answer that question very easily because he's the bird man.
Because I've really become interested in the Audubon Society.
Yeah, can you hear us, Scott?
Scott? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
oh,
sir.
Okay. Yeah, there are a number of birds out there. Audubon will probably be doing hikes out in that area once the COVID situation lets up and it's safer to have groups out there. But yeah, the Pyrroloxia or the desert cardinal that you were mentioning is common out there. Black-throated sparrows, crystal thrashers, a whole bunch of different things are out there. So there's not going to probably be a specific field guide or signage that I know of at this point, but any list that you see, like the checklist that the Audubon Society has on their website, you could use that to help narrow down the types of birds that could be seen in the Franklin Mountains, which would be including the Napland.
Yes, I actually downloaded the Audubon app where you can take a picture of the bird and it lets you know what it is. So I know I have the Texas state, the Texas home finches. I have tons of male and females and babies. And of course, the mourning doves are pigs when it comes to eating. I've made my own bird baths and food to make sure they're covered in the winter. My husband is sad that we can't file them on tax return because I feed so much. I feed so many of them. I buy the gigantic bag at Sam's of the black sunflower because I asked Birds Unlimited what is the best for all the natural birds. And I actually have now a barn owl that has taken up residence in my next door neighbor. And so I have him at night. But the Chihuahuan cardinal is now coming every day, and I'm sure he has a mate somewhere, but he's really unique. Everybody needs to look up to see what he looks like. And I was told he only breeds with the female Chihuahuan cardinal. He will not breed outside of the Chihuahuan desert, like the Sonoran cardinal or red or yellow cardinal. I've educated myself, but it's really unique to watch them all and then, you know, take residence, and they have eaten me clean this morning after I filled the bird feeders. But I'm really into the whole bird thing.
Your life is going to the birds.
Yes, my money has gone to the birds, even though I'm laid off. My husband, Nick, wants to file them on our tax return because we've probably spent over $400 of bird seed since spring along with the hummingbird feeders. And so God bless my neighbors for, you know, not complaining about some bird poop, but I'm really good about it. But it literally looks like the bird movie. They'll sit on and just attack. But it's actually really pretty knowing what type come into this area. Stop smiling, Sam.
We're all smiling.
Just paying
Right.
attention.
But I can't wait for tours because I think it's really interesting. And another question about that aircraft that crashed so long ago, is there going to be a tour someday to go up and see what's left of that? Because that was a really interesting article I read in the El Paso Inc. And I don't know if the public will be able to go up there, but it's a part of Fort Bliss history. And I'm really intrigued with, the memorial that's up there, the plaque of those who lost their lives, the pilots and crew members. So I was just wondering about that.
I don't know if anybody here can answer that because this is just for the conservation easement. So I don't know. Somebody might have that answer though.
Well, I'll this is Scott again. I'll just kind of chime in. If you go to an online group called Meetup, they often have hikes that are advertised, and then also Celebration of Our Mountains. I think they've completed their hikes for the season, but every October and November, they have a whole series of hikes that center primarily on the Franklin Mountains, but they often have tours that are led up to those crash sites. So you may not be able to find something right this fall or winter, but next spring or summer or in the next fall, look at Celebration of Our Mountains, and they often have those hikes.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the information. I will definitely look at those sites.
Okay.
And they've been sharing some of those links in the chat, so make sure you check those out, everyone.
I did. Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome.
All right. Were there any? Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Were there any other questions for Miss Lisa about the process, timeline, anything like that?
Let's do one more round of applause. 1, 2, 3.
Clap, 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 clap.
There we go.
All right.
All right.
Cool.
I thought you had another question. Nope.
I don't think so, unless I'm missing somebody raising their hand or asking a question. I don't think so. I haven't received anything else.
Okay.
I do have another. Go ahead.
Miss Lisa, I want to appreciate, thank you for taking the time to come out here and share with us. We know you've been working on this quite a bit. You're fairly new to the city and the city's team, and I know this was thrust upon you, but it's an important project for all of us that are here on this call. The bottom line is, nothing ever goes according to schedule or the timeline that we want, but none of us are taking our eyes off the brass ring, and we know what we'd like to happen as soon as possible. I understand there has to be 2 readings of this ordinance to make this thing a go. Did you give us a actual date that this would be coming to council for the first reading?
No, I didn't, and I definitely don't want to say that moving up the council date, was a disappointment, because I know a lot of people want to have that family time and not go to council on December 22nd. But if we have to move it to January 5th, we want to bring the correct product and the right product. It's something that's going to be around in perpetuity, and we just don't want to rush it. But we are really going to try to have a reading of the ordinance as soon as possible if we can, and definitely in January for sure.
In the second reading will immediately follow the reading of the ordinance the first time, correct? The
Correct.
Immediate meeting following. Okay, and that's when we'll
Yes.
vote on it. Okay, let's see what we can do about getting it on the agenda as soon as possible. Lindsay, you got anything else?
No, I just wanted to let everyone know I went ahead and posted the slides in the chat. You can get them there, but if you all, I can still email them if you prefer that method as well. You should be able to download them from the chat, but I'm happy to email them out as well. Okay, let me see. We have a new message. Okay, I'll send those to you, Judy. Beth said, I don't know if any of you all knew Jody Todd, but she had been trying the mountain behind her house off of Galena. I'm sure this will make her happy to see that happen. So that's good news. I do not have any other people asking questions, but I do have another announcement really quick. I just got news from Miss Carlene. She's on the line. She reached out to us a while back regarding, she's a professor at UTEP. Well, one of her jobs is a professor at UTEP. She's a Wonder Woman.
Yes,
and she had reached out. She had reached out to us about setting up a program for her. Forgive me, Carlene, if I mess up the program, but it's a real estate development. And we helped her get in contact with the airport, and UTEP just announced their partnership with the El Paso International Airport. And so her students are now going to be helping. Part of their project is going to be for commercial real estate, and they're going to be getting some firsthand experience on how those plans are drawn out and all that fun stuff. So it's a really exciting program UTEP is now offering for commercial real estate, and they partner with the city. So yeah. I think that's a good thing. She came to us, and Rhett Morgan reached out to the city manager and our city engineer / director of the airport and made this happen. So it was a really great idea from her, and I think it's good news to share. I'll put the link to the press release in the chat so you all, or not the press release, I'm sorry, the article by the Herald Post so you all can read it if you're interested in learning more about that.
Thank you both for your support. I appreciate it.
Not a problem. And thank you for always being there and stepping up and helping the community. You're doing a great job. Keep it up.
I appreciate it. It's a wonderful opportunity for the students to be able to look at those parcels and assess them and, take a look at them and learn. And so I do very much appreciate it, guys.
Too easy. Thank you for following through. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Well, if there's no other questions for Ms. Gala about the conservation easement, we'll let her go unless she wants to stay. But if anybody else has questions unrelated to our guest speaker, we're happy to take those now.
Any announcements or anything that you might want the community to know about?
Yeah, I myself am going to have to make like a lettuce and leaf. But I've really enjoyed this. I've learned a lot as usual. I want to thank all of you for coming. Thank Rep. Sam and Lindsay for featuring and sponsoring. So have a great evening.
You too, sir.
Thanks, Dr. T.
Before Richard leaves, he might give us an update on the RAB that happens next week, or is he gone?
He just left, but I can give that update.
Please.
I was recently appointed to the RAB, which is the Restoration Advisory Board through Fort Bliss. I was just appointed by the Garrison Commander last month, so I will be sitting on that board. Thank you, everyone. I see your little hand claps. I'll be sitting on that board now along with Dr. T and some other members of the community. And one of the big items that we are meeting about next Wednesday will be the issue that occurred, I want to say it was 2018, June of 2018. There was some destruction of land north of Kastner Range. And a lot of people reached out to us about it. They were supposed to be out there looking for unexploded ammunitions and ordnances, but the contractor did a little bit too much damage compared to what they were supposed to be doing. And so the Corps of Engineers will be at that meeting. This is next Wednesday. I was going to say October. I am so behind. December 9th. And that meeting, let me get the actual time for you all. I have it down at 6:30, and it's open to the public. So if you guys are interested in getting an update from the Corps of Engineers, please come. It's open to the public. The board will be hearing what their next steps and actions are, and then, giving feedback for that. It's a really interesting board. They only meet once a year, but they do all of the environmental aspect of Fort Bliss projects. So please, if you're interested in that, I will put that information out to you all. They actually haven't sent us the finalized time, but I will get that out to you. I'll put it in our newsletter because it is a meeting that's open to the public. Judy, did you have anything to add to that?
Well, there should be Casner Range should be on the agenda as well. That's why I'm real curious to see the agenda.
I believe it is, but I'm not 100% sure. We haven't been given the final
Agenda.
draft of that, but I'll send it to you as soon as I have it. All right. Any other questions, comments?
Nope. I just want to thank everyone for coming out and participating, asking the good questions. And we look forward to seeing this project move forward. Obviously, it's been a long time coming, but it seems like it's in a format now that those of us that are participating can actually understand. But we just have to tighten down that timeline and get this thing moving forward. Other than that, I want to thank you all for everything that you do for your communities, everything that you do for us in District 4. I've shared with you guys before, you're our eyes and our ears in the community. And it's because of you all and your willingness to work with my office and my staff and myself that we're able to get so much done in our community. Okay? So I truly appreciate you all. And remember, there's a runoff election going on. Go vote. You guys need to pick yourself a mayor and a couple of city reps and a couple of judges. Don't care who you vote for, just vote, okay? All right, if you've ever been to Chicago, vote often. All right, so with that being said, thank you all for coming out. And unless Lindsay's got something, I'm going to say bios con Dios.
Lindsay? Lindsay?
Uh-huh.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to share, if anyone is interested, I am an author and I've written a children's book. And so if you are in the market to buy some books, I advocate reading for young children. It is on Amazon. It's called The No Lid Kid.
The No Lid Kid?
It's a rhyming book. The No Lid Kid. It is a rhyming book and it sells on Amazon for $9.99. Or as they say, for less than $10.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome.
And if you decide to get it and go on Amazon, please leave a review.
Absolutely. I'm definitely going to go buy that. I hope everybody else does too. That's really great.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
Hopefully I can get it signed too. Let me tell you, wink, wink.
Not a problem.
I have kids. I would like a signature too, please.
Not a problem.
Outstanding.
Just wear a mask.
Of course. Alrighty, that's awesome news. Thank you for sharing that.
It is.
I just checked my email. The RAB meeting for next week starts at 7. Actually, I said 6:30, but it's actually 7. And I will send you all the link via our newsletter once I have that for the meeting, just so you all know. Anything else? Any other exciting news from y'all? Kim?
Hey, Sam. I was listening to Oscar Leeser talking about, in an article about the 5 buildings downtown that the city's thinking of buying for the COVID storage or whatever. That's kind of hit a sore spot in our family. And my husband wants to know all about why they're thinking of buying when there's all of these like Memco shopping centers that are vacant and things of that sort that we could, sublease instead of having to buy. Who are we buying them from? Where's the money coming from? Because it was a huge article and that really kind of touched a little sore spot. Okay. So can you fill me in?
If I may, the buildings that they're buying or the properties that they're buying, obviously one of those is in the Northeast and it's going to be utilized as our health department here in the Northeast. but it is also number one. It's the logistics storage warehouse for all things COVID in El Paso. They purchased the property because they could use those type of dollars for that type of purchase. All of this is the CARES federal dollars, the CARES dollars. Remember, any dollars that we do not spend by December 31st go back to the federal government. Okay. And it was a unique opportunity for us to, one, you know, if you guys remember when we did the safety bond, we actually initially had the health department on there as well, but everyone was like, health department is too much, so we removed it. So guess what? Pandemic hits, federal government comes in with hundreds of millions of dollars, and we're using those dollars, not your tax dollars. Look at it this way: we all pay in the federal taxes, but now we're actually getting our fair share. So those dollars are coming right back into our community. They're not upping your tax bill. And we got our fair share of our government monies that federal dollars that we paid in anyhow. We have 5 new facilities that can be used for nothing but prepping for COVID vaccinations, because we don't have a place to inoculate people right now. The building in the Northeast, right there on Threadgill, is actually going to be done by the end of this month, 100% up operational, and we're actually using it we're already starting to store. The facility is beautiful, it looks great, and we're renovating it. And like I said, we're renovating it with the federal CARES dollars, because all of that money has to go back if we don't use it. It would be a shame. It would be a travesty to give money back to the federal government.
Yeah, because that huge article was not even listed the CARES Act. So I know everybody that read that article that was in the news, there was no mention of the CARES Act. It just said the city is buying 5 buildings downtown. So just wanted to let you know what I read, and I wasn't even in town. I'm reading it. I just need to get some updates regarding the dog park, Lindsay. I know the contract is out for bid regarding breaking ground on the dog park and the All Abilities Children's for, phase 2. Do we have an update regarding that?
Really quick, before I answer that, I want to go back to your first question. Those buildings aren't going to be temporary, so they'll be permanent health departments once COVID is over. So we'll be able to keep those. That's why we're buying the buildings.
Okay.
I think that's important to mention because they're not going to go away when COVID does.
That was not included either in the article.
Yes. And then for the dog park question, I don't have any updates. They're still in the bidding process. So that process takes a while because they have to go through all the bids and then find the best value procurement for the city. And then it won't happen until it goes to city council. And then once it goes to city council, the design has to be, it's a very long process. So we're probably looking at another 4 to 5 months before it even goes to council.
Okay.
Because they have to look at all the bids and all of that fun stuff. And that's an operational side thing.
And then last but not least, when we had Tommy Gonzalez out here, and he definitely said security cameras need to be in phase 1 in the parking lot for Joey Barraza and Vino phase 1. Do we have any, because he took that on very seriously, saying they need the cameras immediately. So where are we? I don't want it to get lost in the shuffle.
That's also in the bidding process. So it was attached to a previous project. So they're probably going to use the same contractor, but it still has to go out to bid and follow all of state laws. So the bid has to be open for at least 2 weeks, and then they have to tabulate all the scores and all that stuff. So it's a process as well. So we don't have an update on that either, but it is in the work on the operations side.
Yeah, because I just keep getting from the neighbors and people that walk to the park and stuff, that complain about safety, especially since it's getting darker earlier and earlier. And, the park is being used. It's so great to see people out there riding their bikes and walking their dogs and all their families. But, they come to me because they know that I am very hands-on with you and Sam and the community, because no one, is going to say anything. So I was like, well, I'll do it. So, I just was like wanting to get back to you, my neighbors and those on the HOA board, so we can send that out in the newsletter.
Perfect. I think Mr. Betts had a question.
Yes. Good evening, Dr. Moya, Lindsay, everyone. Good evening. I I was happening to be looking at a Newsy news channel, and I seen this commercial, and Dr. Morgan said, "Look what we were doing," and he threw his hands up. That was one awesome commercial, and I just want to say that is so awesome. Let's keep that up, Dr. Morgan. Keep it up. But I had to compliment you on that. Like I said, that was on Newsy news channel, and I saw that. So it's not just here. This is going all over the United States, huh? Where everyone's getting a chance to see this. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Kudos.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Trying to make sure everyone knows what we really have going on out here. You know?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
That brings up a good point, Mr. Betts. I'm going to add right now, I have to get the link for you all, but I'm going to put a link in the chat so you all can see our top 20 projects and our top 12 upcoming projects. It's on our website, so I'm going to go ahead and share that for you all to see if you haven't checked out our website in a while.
Thank you. Thank you, Lindsay.
Thank you, my friend. The 8th will be, the 12th will be here before you know it.
Yeah, and this is actually a good segue really quick before we wrap up, because I want to make sure we're out of here by 6 so you all can join that city meeting if you want to. On the link I just put in the chat, you'll see all of our projects. We get a lot of calls. I think Angela actually just got a call today about, we need this in the Northeast, or we need this, or this needs to be reconstructed, or do this. And a lot of it is already planned. It's fine that people are calling. That's great. We love to communicate with people, but some of it, we just want to make sure that you guys know how to find that information should you want it on your own. So that link has all the information about all the projects. It also has, if you know, some of them have videos attached to them, so you can go and check it all out for yourself and share it with anybody. I know Angela got a question today. Does the Northeast have a dog park? And if not, can we get one? Or I got the question yesterday, railroad is never going to be reconstructed, is it? And I'm like, actually it is. We got federal funding, so your taxpayer dollars will not go towards that, at least your local ones. And that's happening in 2021. So a lot of these questions that we're getting, the information's out there if you look in the right places. So I hope you all will use that resource and share that with your friends and family. Cool. Kim says the electric company was on 54 repairing the lighting. That's awesome. Yeah, that's been in the works for a while. They had to wait for TxDOT to finish their work that they were doing in order to start that. So, but with that, we're getting close to 6 o'clock. So unless there's any other questions, comments, concerns? No? All right. Then quick reminder, if you want to donate blood, December 11th from 1 to 5, Northeast Bible Restoration Church, 4925 Fairbanks. We have to beat District 2. So I'm not competitive, just a little bit, but we have to do it. So we need we need 25 people. I think we have like 5 signed up and like 7 people that were like, I'll show up. I don't need to sign up in advance, but I don't trust y'all. So please sign up. And and I mean that in the most loving way possible. I'm just very competitive. So it's a good thing. We're going to raise or get some blood for our community. And while you're there, you can also get a COVID antibody test, which is cool. So yeah, the link is in the chat. But
please
anyway,
try to make it.
Yes.
If you can, we'll be there.
Oh, I'm sorry, Debbie, did you want to say something before we wrapped up? I just saw your hand.
Yeah, I just put it up, so you're good.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to clarify. So the blood drive, you have to live in District 2 to donate?
No. So anybody can come donate. It will just be under, if you come on that day, it will be under Rhett Morgan's name. So he'll get the credit.
That's good. That's good. I will get with you so I can find out how to sign up.
Perfect. Thank you, Miss Debbie. Debbie is an honorary District 4 constituent. We've adopted her.
Yay! Y'all know I love District 4.
Absolutely. All righty. Well, I guess go ahead.
I just wanted to say Merry Christmas to Sam, Lindsay, and Angela. I will be out of town next week at the NFR, National Finals Rodeo. Yeah. So I will miss you guys, and then y'all will be closed for the holidays. So I just wanted, Sam, personally, you and I have worked together tirelessly in my little neck of the woods. And Lindsay, thank you for not getting tired of me shooting you and Angela 8 million messages or photos and stuff. But, you know, it's cool to see things that are fixed, like, you know, a light fixture at Salem and Kenworthy that was knocked down. And I sent it to Lindsay, and by golly, it is up and working. So it does work. This team is amazing, these three. And for anybody listening, I've been really a huge supporter of district for, you know, getting answers. And I just want to thank you guys so much. And Sam, good luck this coming week. I'm rooting for you. I will be following from Fort Worth. And let's have a very happy and healthy 2021, and jobs get posted and we all get back to some sorts of normalcy.
Thank you, Kim. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Kim.
Yes, thank you.
Welcome.
And that brings my, actually one more announcement and then I'll let you guys go. I'm sorry. Just so you all know, we're only going to have 2 more community meetings for this year because the year is almost over, believe it or not. So we will have the 10th next Thursday and the 17th the following Thursday. The 17th will be our last community meeting of the year because the next Thursday is Christmas Eve. So, and then the Thursday after that is New Year's Eve. So we will have 2 more meetings this year, and then we'll get you all the schedule for the beginning of 2021 soon. But just keep that in mind, and we will see you all soon, and have a good night. Stay safe, wear your mask, and
Social distance.
And go vote.
Go vote.
All right.
Yes,
Thanks, everyone.
take
Have a
care.
good night.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Donate blood.
Bye-bye.
Vampire.
1 to 5. Bye, guys.
Okay.